tukule hepi, halafu tufungue sakafu, sababu inabamba, inashika, wingu la tisa inatufikisha, ukiachilia mahewa manze DJ unatubeba. Boom boom ba, boom 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 ba, boom boom ba, boom ba boom ba, boom boom ba, boom 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 ba, boom boom ba, boom ba boom ba. Karibia inakubamba, vipi dada, shake your manda, inakutouch touch, si relax kwenye dance floor, show us what unanoki, hauchoki kwenye dance floor, hautoki, unahisi hii muziki, unahisi nameless na mimi nameless.
Eliza in conjunction with Ogopa, tumekuja kuhakikisha kwamba speakers zinasikika. Hey yo mister, are you a member? Hey yo sister, wacha kulenga. Can't you see that I'm talking to you? Sasa weka mikono juu.
Boom boom ba, boom 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 ba, boom boom ba.
Ukikatika na hii ngoma, just be cool as a cucumber.
Hello them, the super fresh lakini twende wewe ye wewe vice versa ile wataka.
Mr. Brother, wacha kuzuba, ukisleki hautapata.
Fungua macho, floni yako, cheza wimbo kama ni wako, cheza wimbo kama ni wako, sababu huu wimbo ni wako.
Iza hatucheki na watu,
Nameless hatucheki na watu,
ma MC hatucheki na watu,
Ogopa hatucheki na watu. Unahisi hizi flow za Afrika, unahisi kama unakatika. Can you feel this one to the rear? Can you feel this up in here? Boom boom ba, boom 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 ba, boom boom ba.
ukikatika na hii ngoma, just be cool as a cucumber.
Na tumekuja kupati, ambia wenzetu samahani, hawako nasi na tuko nao, basi wametupa mao, sababu inabamba, inashika, wingu la tisa inatufikisha, ukiachilia mahewa manze DJ unatubeba. Boom boom ba, boom 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 ba, boom boom ba, boom ba boom ba. Boom boom ba, boom 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 ba, boom boom ba.
Ukikatika na hii ngoma, just be cool as a cucumber.
Ilibidi niokoke ndo niwashe jiko, siko kwa kanaliti juu niko ridho. Ulimi bado ridhe, risasi zipo, misari bado kali na mizani zipo. Silabi simple kama A-E-I-O-U, rudia mara twice A-E-I-O-U. Kati chingi za calling na cha impromptu, subiri usichizi, hii ni in. Two fingers in the sky, kunja ngumi to the side, sio ngumu kudecide, tuzikwende tukislide. We can boogie through the night, thank the Lord that I'm alive. Two fingers in the sky, kunja ngumi to the side, sio ngumu kudecide, tuzikwende tukislide. We can boogie through the night, thank the Lord that I'm alive.
Kabit kakidop too, checking if you come through, so follow if you want to, nobody can stop you. Kabit kakidop too, checking if you come through, so follow if you want to, nobody can stop you.
Wanauliza Kolo kwani ulienda? Okay, wengi hawajui nilishabanduka. Kama shujaa si nilipata rufa, jupazia za hekalu zilishararuka. Kumbe hapa siri ni kuchangamuka, sasa anga zangu chonjo ninatambaruka. Mimi niko na Yesu nilijanjaruka, kutoboa hii maisha ya mapanda shuka.
Kabit kaki drop too. Checking if you come through. So follow if you want to. Nobody can stop you. Kabit kaki drop too. Checking if you come through. So follow if you want to. Nobody can stop you. Move back to the left. Kila mtu anafala. Usipodu uko solo. Let's move to the right. Move back to the left. Kila mtu anafala. Usipodu uko solo.
Two fingers in the sky. Kunja gumi to the side. Sio ngumu kudecide. Tusikwende tukislide. We can boogie through the night. Thank the Lord that I'm alive. Two fingers in the sky. Kunja gumi to the side. Sio ngumu kudecide. Tusikwende tukislide. We can boogie through the night. Thank the Lord that I'm alive too.
Kabit kaki drop too. Checking if you come through. So follow if you want to.
Lazizi wangu we, zawadi nono kutoka mbinguni, na kuwaza mabebe, nikikuwaza usiku silali, nikikuona na wengine nachikwa na wivu. Naomba unipe namba yako nikuvutie waya, nikupeleke Java, tunywe kahawa, tukizuba duba duba.
Mughali wanjewe Sianwa sianja hurula hunyasae Ndahuyanza mabebe Sianwa sianja hurula hunyasae Nikikuona na wengine nashikwa na wivu. Naomba unipe namba yako nikuvutie waya, nikupeleke Java, tunywe kahawa, tukizuba duba duba. Nikitafuta kama wewe, nina feel so nice, unanipa mi amani. Bele baby, sioni njia bila wewe. Nikikuona na wengine nashikwa na wivu. Naomba unipe namba yako nikuvutie waya, nikupeleke Java, tunywe kahawa bebe, tukizuba duba duba. Mazowi manana Kadonangae utana lolana, kanisa kayo sherinanga, soki yote nanzangaka ongi penzi. Nikikuona na wengine nashikwa na wivu. Naomba unipe namba yako
I'd be forever texting you, even Kikamba would be the language that we use. There'd be no other, no, no, no. Come on now, MCO, I hope you understand. You're the best that I have. If I had your number, I'd be forever calling you. I hope you answer, girl. We speak the Luo when we through. Nyakoti better than delay. I told you better than delay. And if love had a face, it would be yours. If love had a face, girlfriend wa Shera akanipa mawaidha, eti unapenda maua, eti nipige pamba na marashi ya kishua, kisha tuende dinner nikupigie kagita. And if love had a face, it would be yours. If love had a face, it would be yours. If love had a face, it would be yours. If love had a face, it would be yours. Aheri Jabel, aheri Kairetu, aheri Jabel, aheri Kairetu, aheri Jabel, aheri Kairetu, aheri Jabel, aheri Kairetu.
Fungulia TV uone vijana wako wakifanya mambo ndani ya mitambo mama. Sauti tamu kwenye redio, nimefika hapa juu ya maombi yako, hata kama sijafika niendako. I know I'm on my way, napenda ukitabasama. I hope I make you even prouder. Na uzidishiwe afya uone nikivuka boda. As I get older, lean on my shoulder. Umenifunza mengi, I remember when you told me don't you let nobody ever change who you are. Keep running hata nikianguka, straight out of heaven malaika. Upendo wako haujawahi badilika. You say take your time while you always in a hurry. Be a star, let it shine, tell your story. You're a 10 over 10, you should know that. Hawanioni vile unavyoniona mama. I'm gonna conquer the world with my guitar. Na bado mama, najua siku moja nitakuwa star. Na bado I will be your star. I will be your star.
Go down already. Life si fair already. Tukikompare kwenda uni au kwa millionaire na dread, utajiambia hii moja ikui. Passion haitaipesi, uache ball utaikuwa Messi, hata ujitolea iwezi. So niambie ni kasi madream, world ingeonaje mapenzi na unapimaje wazimu, kujua dream yangu ni crazy. Just needed someone to believe in me, I'm living. My name will live forever, may our memories together be as nice as sunny weather days. Like your energy, I'm grateful and I'm proud of me. Siamini nacha legacy man. Ile meli nenda ni kama ndivyo ilifaa kwenda na kasi, hivyo basi meli ingezama. Ile meli nenda ni kama ndivyo ilifaa kwenda na kasi, hivyo basi meli ingezama.
I'm gonna conquer the world with my guitar. Na bado mama, najua siku moja nitakuwa star. Na bado I will be your star. I will be your star.
Hello, niaje mama? Nimepata umetry kunicall. Pole ukinicall ilikuwa booth nikipiga mistari. Tukiingia session lazima phone kuwe silent, jutia jituza producer. Industry inanipeleka fiti. Pesa sio mingi lakini mafans wana like muziki. Inquiries ziko mingi sana, promoter studio bei hawafiki. DJs na presenters pia nimewatumia emails na tweets. Maybe frequency yangu ndio mbaya, stations hazishike fiti. Juzi kwanza tulipatana Yashinski akasema na like vibe yetu na hawezi mind kukua kwa track moja na sisi. Alinipatia namba but sina credit, nitumie credit ya 50 nimpigie. Maybe ni ile break tulikuwa tukitarajia. Sio hivyo mama, ile deni yako bado sijasahau. Fuku yangu chakaa fiti saiba tipo kifani na ka promise mwakicheza kama hao na mimi nitacheza kama mimi. One day nitakupeleka out Malindi usikie vile beach breeze kwa windy. Fine dining price for wazungu na anyway.
Makes you do crazy things. Ask my shoes, uliza kiatu, and what I went through to buy you those rings. Ask my shoes, uliza kiatu, masaibu ninayoyapitia kukupeleka dina. Uliza kiatu na kaderi ninavyokatafuna, eti ndo ukule baraka pizza. Uliza kiatu. Ask my shoes, ask my shoes, uliza kiatu, uliza kiatu. Nimekopa nikupe, kumbe wewe ndo kupe. Nang'ang'ana ndo tule juhudi zangu bure. I heard that love should always make us strong, but how I feel, I think that they were wrong. Ask me why. Nasema taxi nilipe, rent mi nikupe, nywele zisongwe Mombasa sitwene mapenzi nikupe, mpaka we unitike. Nasema taxi nilipe, rent mi nikupe, nywele zisongwe Mombasa sitwene mapenzi nikupe, mpaka we unitike. Ask my shoes, ask my shoes, uliza kiatu, uliza kiatu. Ask my shoes, ask my shoes, uliza kiatu,
kitendawili,
uliza kiatu,
kitendawili. Nilimuonyesha mapenzi akanionyesha mfuko. Alisema do ya salon ni thao tu, na kwa mfuko nilikuwa na mbao juu. Alisema naenda PE, akirudi nilimpata akimeza P2. Alikutega, so niko stuck katikati kama stick ya mshikaki. Na mpenda huyu mshikaji but kiatu tu ndo najua story. Yani vile mi mchocha nimemflash bahati mbaya juu niko na deni ya boba Kolimo. Yani vile mi ukanyaga matope kabla nifike kwa lami, na ile stress mi upitia kabla nimbongeshe kilami. Yani vile mi mpandisha taxi then anda kudandia gari ya moshi. Yani vile mi umhasilia diketi wangu naanza kutoa moshi. Yani vile mi muita baby juu najua nikimuita Njeri naanza geuka L, na hiyo mama zako nimespoil. Yani vile nimetama kali timbango naanza geuka sanda. Yani vile yani kani kukopa nimekopa, yani kani kokoka nimekoka, yani kani 9 nimepigana tu nilivisho vigake namba 8, na hata usiku nipate menchora 8 toa moja 7. Vile nimesaga mpaka toja nikamdangeti mimi naishigi umoja, nikamwonyesha mpaka mimi si mwana vioja eti na wako mahakamani kusolve vitimbi za dunia bila shaka mashtaka. Yani vile tele dunia kasimama tasimama pamoja. Yani vile kama penzi ni nywele basi nimemsetia nati. Yani vile kama penzi ni kikozi basi bila shaka niko na TB, niko na fever juu ananiumiza. Yani vile kama penzi ni mistari basi nimemwandikia sentensi matenzi mpenzi na kuenzi vishenzi. Niko cheesy crazy mwizi wa mapenzi funge. I'm guilty. You have to testify.
ask my shoes, ask my shoes, uliza kiatu, uliza kiatu, ask my shoes, ask my shoes, uliza kiatu, uliza kiatu.
Welcome back to Bonga na Lao, where we talk about all things leveling up by Gen Z. Today we have amazing people on set. We have the amazing Harriet. We also have Caleb on set with us. And yeah, so first of all, wacha wajiintroduce, watuambie rada yao. I think we can start ladies first with the pretty girl on my right. Introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Harriet. I'm an artist and I'm also a financial economist. Hiyo ndo rada yangu.
Okay. Yeah, that's Harriet. Amesahau kuambia she's also a fancied friend. We also have Caleb to my left.
Hey everyone, my name is Caleb Kioko. A co-host at Get Denke with Dan and Carl, and I'm also a civil engineer student.
You're an engineer? Hata
Yeah.
sio siko najua.
And I'm also a fancied friend.
Okay, of importance. Of importance.
Well,
Yeah. So kama kawaida, we start with our mental health toolkit, which my guest completely know about, them being mental health guys. Of course you know the mental health toolkit. So we want to talk about the 4 things in the toolkit, which is look twice, listen twice, think twice, and speak once. So they mean different things for everyone, okay? So yesterday, I think the guest talked like the way you view it differently. So there's look twice, listen twice, think twice, Harriet Siango, nakujua, Harriet Siango, and then there's speak once. Like that joke is so old. So I'm going to pick which one today. Today I'm going to pick the one for listen twice, only because today morning I think I saw this on Instagram, and someone was saying, like before you go and rant to someone, you need to ask their consent if they are ready to listen to you. Like si kuenda tu hapo like you just trauma dump on someone and maybe they're not in a good space to listen to you. And also sometimes even when someone rants to you, maybe they don't want a solution. Maybe they just want to be heard and they don't want a solution. They don't want you telling them sijui, oh you know. Sometimes people just want to be listened to. So yeah, I think that's what's resonating with me today. I don't know about you guys. Caleb, which one resonates with you?
Yeah, as you just said, I think sometimes when someone comes to you for, they're just going through a recession, or they're just going through something that they feel it's an importance for them to be listened to, wanataka tu ile advice. Sometimes they just want you to give them an ear, just be there as they tell you what unaongea, like wanataka tu kuwe pale, your presence is enough.
Okay, I think you're speaking like a man, because acha tu nilete hiyo debate. Sometimes guys, sometimes that's the difference between us, like telling sharing my problem with a girl and a boy. Sometimes if you share it with a man and akupe solution, and I'm just like, because the way I think the way men process, it's like, oh, this is the problem, then this is the solution, just do this. And then girls tunabembelezana, unaambia it's okay, you are okay the way you are enough. Like girls watakubembeleza, boys as a man atakupea to pop the solution.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll just listen to you. Sometimes you don't even need me to tell you what to do. I'll just be there, I'm going to trace, see the skiza too, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, sawa. Sometimes I think people know the answer to what they're going through, but sometimes it's so heavy on them, they just need someone to pour it to someone.
Okay.
At least to relieve the burden and feel, at least someone listens to me. At least someone is there for me, Yeah. And someone can, try fit in my shoes. Someone will know what I'm going through. So, yeah. And when you give them that space, a safe space for them to, talk about how they feel. And I think that space is enough, because it's like a free space for them. They've been able to air something that has been inside and eating them up for a long time, and now it's imemtoka, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Coming back to your Harriet, kidogo tu. I also saw this, and someone was saying, the name of God is it Hebrew? The way it's Yahweh, and there was no A in the beginning. The name Yahweh didn't have letter A. Human beings just added the vowel. Jawataki kuchoka. So the name was YWH. So like when you pronounce that, it's like like the way you breathe in and breathe out. So, and they were talking about like the way sometimes when you have problems, you just feel like if you talk to God, inakusaidia, and we do that when we call on his name, and it's just you breathing iyo tu sound. And I found that very interesting. But coming to you, Harriet, on the mental health toolkit, which one resonates with you?
Wow. Let me use the listen twice thing because it's something that you've said, and you've given us two perspectives to look at. You've given us the ni mtu ananikujia perspective and the ni mtu naendea perspective. And basically, I think if you're going to someone with a problem, this person, most likely than not, is a friend of yours. And it's really rare for you to go to a stranger, even though most people say that it's easier to talk to people you don't know. Yeah. So if you're going to someone you know, or if someone you know is coming to you, then I think you will know what to do because you know your friend. I think what I would say is know your friends enough to know how they are in crisis, and have friends who know you enough to know who you are in crisis, because whatever works for person A will not work for person B.
Oh yeah, true.
Exactly. So there's no one rule. Hakuna ati you have to go and ask, sijui follow a certain set of guidelines in order to get help or give help. I don't think that's how it works. I think you personalize according to your friends, and if it's someone new, I think communication is it's everything. Ask the person, are you comfortable with having a solution, or do you want me to listen to you? It's just that simple, honestly. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that. Especially when you said know your friend and what your friend needs. I think that's so thoughtful. Like that's just pushing us to have more thoughtful friends. Like sometimes you can tell someone your problem and anakwambia the right thing to say. Like what should be said, and there's nothing that should be said because everyone is different. Yeah. So I really love that. I think some icebreaker questions before we start our conversation. Ni icebreaker surely. Tuna break the ice. Ama kuja na hammer. So if you were to have 3 apps on your phone, which apps will you have? Only 3 apps. Simu yako iko tu na 3 apps. I'm gonna start. Number 1 for me is gonna be TikTok. It doesn't even need to have the talking to people option. I'll just have TikTok. Number 2 will be Universe, because my boss was here on Tuesday. Number 3 Universe app, that's number 2. Number 3, there's this app I use called Wiser. So especially because most times I have anxious thoughts. So before nianze show, I was using it because someone might have been late. So I was using it to calm down, and it just really helps me, and I feel like I found such a safe space over there. So yeah, but now I feel bad because now I don't have an app for music. Okay, TikTok has music. Yeah, so I'll die with that. I'll die with TikTok, Universe, and Wiser. Those are the 3 apps I'd have on my phone if I only had 3 apps. What about you guys?
Okay, I think I would have Spotify as my number 1, because I do everything with music in the background. So that's a solid. I would have Pinterest. That's where I learned to cook.
Oh.
That's where I get my recipes from. Lazima nikule. Then the 3rd one, I would have WhatsApp, because that's where I communicate with most people, official and unofficially. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For me, I'll rather have, let's say, Quital app.
Twitter.
Quital.
Quital
App is an app. It's like a library where you have ebooks, some books there you can read. Pia kuna some podcasts in there. So yeah, Quital app, and then Spotify, just because I post most of my work there pia. And let's say Twitter, kupata udaku saa zingine pia si mbaya, because Generation Z, we rarely watch news, so at least for me to know what's going on in this world, I love Twitter.
Okay, yeah. Speaking of books, now to the second icebreaker question. What's one advice you received and you feel like it changed you? I know that's exaggerating because like an advice changes you, but like something someone told you and it's always stuck with you and it's kind of changed how you view the world. Yeah, what's an advice or something someone has told you that kind of changed how you view life and how you show up? I'm gonna start. For me, the advice I've received ni mingi, considering like every Sunday nakwanga tu in the space where I'm receiving advice from people. But when I was in high school, there's a time I was really struggling. Like, oh my God, my last day in high school was a funny one. I was really struggling, and I remember not seeing the point of life. Like, nilikuwa tu nashanga, like, now what's this? And I went and talked to a priest, because then in school we had the chance to talk to like the fathers, like ungewaongelesha ukiwa na shida. So I went and talked to them, and they told me something that's like it's always like it's always stuck with me. And he told me life is worth living. Like you need to see life as something that can be lived, and that's a personal decision you'll have to make. And that gave me so much power. It still does today, because some days I really don't feel like showing up. Nasikianga tu nimeboeka, but I'm like, but you know what, this life is worth living. There are people who like that you're here, Lao. There are people, like there's something you can do, so life is worth living. So yeah, that's something for me. It's stuck. So nataka kusikia kutoka kwenyu, what's something you've been to, ama ni nyingi sana mumeambiwa? Let's hear from you guys, and even from the listeners. What's something you've been told that's actually really stuck with you feel like it has changed you?
I actually have something.
Okay.
I had to scroll through my notes though, but it's only because when you use something so much, you stop. Like I feel like habit makes things be so obvious that you won't point them out. You get?
Yeah.
So that's why I had to scroll down, because I usually write my notes down, and in every time I write my notes down, there's only something that's usually so constant, and that's about passion and reason. So it's from a book, but I had it in a series I was watching, One Tree Hill, and the author is called Khalil Gibran, and it's a very religious book. Weirdly, if you know me, that's weird. So they were saying that passion and reason are two things that you need to have at the same time. You can't have one without the other, and that's because reason ruling alone is a force confining, and then passion ruling alone is indestructible. Like it's too much, and it's something that I work with every day, because again, I'm an artist and a financial economist.
Oh yeah.
Like I want to do music, but I also have my courses. I have business, I have math. I'm calculating every time, and those are two things that's the right brain. The right side of the brain is the dominant in one end, and the left side of the brain is the dominant in another end. If I have both of them working together, I'm whole.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a wholesome.
Yeah, so I always work with that. I have to have passion, but I also have to have reason, so that any decision I'm making and any path that I'm taking, I have to think it through. Yeah, so that I don't lose my way.
Okay, passion and reason. I think I really resonate with that. Thank you so much. Caleb.
Me, I'll say always have intentions. Always have the right intentions when you're doing something. When you start something, have intentions for living. What are you living for? You can't be just have intentions. I think that's enough. It's self-explanatory. Have intentions. Have intentions for why you're doing this. Have intentions for why you're reading this book. What's your takeaway from this that you're doing? Yeah. For me, it's have intentions, I guess.
Having intentions. That's so nice. I think something people don't know, when I was doing Fancy Story, there's a time nilikuwa najidoubt vibaya sana. Like I was like you see that point where you're about to go like this, you're about to go big and trust in yourself.
Yeah.
And I think I think I had it in the internet, and that person said have a why. And I think that's what intention is. Have a why, a really strong why, that even when no one supports you, you'll still be doing that. Like if the whole world didn't listen to your podcast, would you still have a podcast? would you still be doing it? So yeah, having intentions really paths how we show up in life. And just coming to the conversation about your podcast, I think I know you're the second podcast I know of men who have like fruitful conversations on the internet. The first one I know of is Man Talk, and then now you guys Get Naked with Dan and Carl. Now I want to know, why is it called Get Naked? Ninataka utuambie ni kwa nini jina ya podcast ni Get Naked. What are you trying to tell her?
But I love that.
Yeah, it's enticing, I know.
Like so, it gives something, but it could be something else.
Exactly. So how the name came up is another whole story. So it took me a while before I came up with that name. So I was out with a friend and I wanted to do a podcast for some time, but I couldn't come up with the name. So I was out with a friend and we were discussing about something. And then, she said, Get Naked with me. And I was like, damn, that's it. And me and Mtavo, Mtavo is my co-host. We were working on an NGO, an organization that was purposing to drive PrEP. If you don't know about PrEP, that's another story for another day. PrEP it's medicine for, it's concerning with HIV/AIDS and stuff. So we always have had these talks after work and discuss how we could make things better. So in the midst of the conversation, we kind of got hooked up in a religious conversation and how a podcast came up and how I came up with the topic of the podcast and the topic, let's see. Get Naked with Dan and Carl, it's a whole other story because we're talking about mid-20s crisis that youths go through.
Especially men, and that's such a good thing.
The gray areas, let me say, that people don't like talking about. Like youths, especially men, we have gray areas that are so sensitive that people youths out there don't like, talking about it. If they talk about it, it's maybe in a jokingly way or just to, brush it, but not in a serious way that, you should take this seriously. It's about your life, So let's get naked. Let's talk about those toxic relationships you had. Let's talk about those, bad days that you don't want to talk about with anyone. Let's talk about those days that you think of, those people, that thing that's been eating you up. So let's get naked.
Can I add something on that? I don't know if you've heard Elamai's Naked. Elamai, her song called Naked. Yeah. And it's basically saying, okay, in her song she says, I need someone who loves me naked, someone who never asks for love, knows how to take it, blah, 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 blah. But the point of the song is someone who loves you in all your vulnerabilities. Like whoever you are outside there and whoever you are when no one's watching, she wants someone who loves her in both versions. And that's exactly what I got when you said Get Naked with.
Exactly.
Because if it's a podcast, it means that you're discussing about everything, including nothing. Yeah. Okay, I get you. Yeah. I would love to be a guest.
Oh, really?
Definitely.
So Nando umepata. Yeah, let's take a music break, but we'll be back with the amazing Caleb and Harriet. We are listening to Soul Generation Ukiwa.
Soul Generation, Merry Christmas to the nation. Oh Lord. Tulianza mwaka tukiwa wengi, wengine hawakumaliza. Tukapanga nayo mipango mingi, lakini chache zikatimizwa. Sasa sherehe kwa church, wengine kwa bar. Count your blessings vile inafaa. Ya Mola ni mengi, shetani hawezi pangua.
Salamu kwako mama, Nairobi kuko sawa. Nilipatana na vijana, tukaimba extravaganza, Kristo lakajulikana. Asante Maulana, haki ningeweza mama, nifungue macho nikuone.
Nikiwa mbali pamoja natamani, sijui nitafanyeje, Krismasi nile na wewe. Ukiwa mbali pamoja natamani, sijui nitafanyeje, nivuke mwaka na wewe. Hakuwezi kuwa na sherehe bila wewe, ziharakisha usichelewe, nilizaliwa Disemba kama wewe, njoo njoo nipembeleze. Moyoni ni mengi ninatarajia, dada wiki vida mbinguni na dunia, ili niwe na wewe muda unawadia, njoo nile rumba na wewe. Timing imeharibiwa na kazi, na sijui nitafanyaje, nichome moja na wewe, niko graini na nimekushikia zawadi, yani sijui nitafikaje, ningependa nikupe mwenyewe. Nikiwa mbali moja natamani, sijui nitafanyeje, Krismasi nile na wewe. Ukiwa mbali moja natamani, sijui nitafanyeje, nivuke mwaka na wewe. Anywhere you are is home, naomba Krismasi nile na wewe. Anywhere you are is home, naomba Krismasi nile na wewe. Ukiwa mbali natamani, sijui nitafanyeje, Krismasi nile na wewe. Ukiwa mbali natamani, sijui nitafanyeje, nivuke mwaka na wewe. Moja natamani, nivuke mwaka na wewe.
Soul Generation, and we are back. I'd like for us to talk about imposter syndrome. You guys, niliwaambia watu wa mental health, lazima tuongee vitu za mental health, and I feel like for me imposter syndrome is usually the elephant in the room, you know, usually the elephant in the room, and sometimes it's that ka voice. I don't know if it's a ka voice. Naonanga it's like, unaona zile movies, the good demon and the bad demon, wa white na wa red. Naonanga imposter syndrome wa red na kidogo hiyo red yake like na I feel like kale ka angel kako hapa, then huyo wa red, it's a whole big person, and that's why like the voice is usually so loud in your head. I don't know if you guys struggle with imposter syndrome, or what you think about it.
I think first is to tell people what imposter syndrome is. You can imagine you're speaking about something now. I think imposter syndrome is exactly what it's exactly like the name is exactly how to explain it. You feel like an imposter.
Yeah.
For example, we are doing radio presentation right now. Really don't belong here. Ama wajui walifika hapa aje. So you feel like you're an imposter. You're in someone else's place. You're not, Harriet is not supposed to be here. Someone else should be here, Lucy or whoever, you know. And imposter syndrome is real. I am encountering it because I'm currently doing music, and I'm supposed to, there are some projects I'm working on, and I'm actually now going to get public with it, and it's the scariest thing. It's scary and it's mixed feelings basically. And sometimes I feel like I should sell my songs because someone else should be singing them. And well, my music teacher is against that, so I'm not doing that. But the point is, imposter syndrome is real, and I feel like for me, the only way to get rid of it is to work hard. The only way I get rid of imposter syndrome is to actually wake up, study, or practice, or whatever it is I'm feeling I'm an imposter in. I get so good at it that I feel like I got this. Because if I'm lazing around in the house, then I'm definitely going to be scared. I'm definitely going to feel like I don't deserve it. So yeah.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. You just work hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I feel like I have a different approach. For me is, sometimes imposter syndrome is coming from somewhere. Like it's coming from somewhere. Like and I think that's what I've been addressing. That not to like, what's the opposite of acknowledging? Dismiss, not to dismiss where it's coming from. So sometimes you might feel like you don't belong, and honestly you don't belong. Like maybe it's not your thing. Sometimes you might feel you don't belong, and maybe it's just underlying insecurities that you have regarding what you're supposed to do. Like when I was choosing my major in school, I was afraid of choosing it because then the notion is people who do PR like more smart than people who get into broadcast, and I know I am both. Like I know I can be like sharp just talking, and I know I can stay in class and read and pass. But I was so scared of taking PR as an option, and I was like, but nikienda huko alafu nipate tu ni watu tu, like watu tu wanasomanga, and I'm like, but me, I'm not a bookworm, I don't like that. And you see, like that's an insecurity I had to address. Like, why don't you think you can stay in class and understand things and pass? So I think for me, I feel like nimechukua imposter syndrome because he ndo the red devil, and I'm making him my friend. I'm like, what do you want to tell me? You want to tell me I'm insecure about this? Let's address it. Also, now this has been like major. Sometimes we have imposter syndrome because of all the noise we accumulate in our lives. You get like, maybe as a child you tried singing and then your parents told you iyo si yako. So even when you grow up na talent yako ni singing na unaenda kuimba, that voice will always be present and you'll feel like you don't belong. So addressing the voices, all the noise that's there, and replacing it with affirmative noise, affirmative voice, because it can't be nice if it's nice. Yeah, so even like with the friends you surround yourself with, like Harry, if you're doing music, like are you sharing your music with friends who'll support you, ama you're sharing it with the one friend mwenye atakwambia sijui nini, so I think for me, I've been listening to imposter. Nimekuwa nikimwescape, but say I have no option than to make him a friend, and then he'll be an enemy after I'm done with him. Yeah.
Okay.
My perspective is, okay, for me I've experienced imposter syndrome because, okay, hata sai najaribu, I'm not used to public speaking, and it's like the opposite. Like, dude, you have a podcast, what are you telling us? So I guess it comes from, like Lau alikuwa anasema, insecurities from some things, because I used to be an introvert until I was introduced to, interacting with people. Like, you deserve this, you're good enough, because I used to be a stammerer kitambo. So growing up, kuna tu zile za I can speak in public, watu watanichukulia aje, people laugh at me, but it's an enemy hata mimi I'm trying to conquer until now. But so far so good, it's going well. And yeah, and how do I overcome imposter syndrome? Sometimes I just say it's just a thought. It's not me, it doesn't define me, it's just some noise. And yeah, just I look for a safer space, a safer sound, a safer song, something that I know, well, I cling to it, I'll feel better. So yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. It's like removing power from the imposter syndrome and just saying it's just a thought. Like there's no much power to you. Yeah. Oh, that's so smart. Harriet, coming back to you, you see when you said you work hard, I've just thought of something. Now I don't know if mine is kind of the same, but sometimes when I'm like, sometimes how I've done, because some places were like, there's this time I was in a tech event. I was like, nafanya nini huku? You know, like a tech event, and what's this guy? This guy who hacks, this hacker on Instagram.
There's a hacker on Insta.
Yeah, there's a
the first thing I think about when I think about technology is Bright Gamili.
Actually, that's him. That's the one I'm talking. He's a hacker.
It's a hacker.
Yeah, like that's like say I'm about to have PhD. I know him as a hacker. He was a guest. He was a guest there. And the way they were talking, actually they go to America and they're paid 7 million for one speaking engagement, and you've been paid for everything. And oh my God, like being in the midst of greatness, it just, I don't know why, but because then listening to great people who also said, even me, I was afraid, but now will you be afraid or will you get 7 million? You need to make a decision. You're going to give power to imposter syndrome, or you're going to go get it, because he gets 7, you guys, 7, one speaking, like na aliniambia, akuniambia, alikuwa naambia kila mtu, but it was personal because I was listening to him, yes.
It was personal.
Yeah, he said like speaking for 15 minutes and he gets 7 million. I was like, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so I think even now, another thing for imposter syndrome, just staying in the things you're good at. There's no point niende nifanye course ya sciences, and I know I'm not a science girly. Like, don't you think like staying in the things you're strong in it will do away with imposter syndrome, because you'll just be navigating along
Don't
your
you
strengths.
think that's the easier way out?
Yeah, but like you can make the most out of it. Naomba nijitetee with my statement.
Actually, before jitete, my question to you would be, what if, okay, for me, I believe that someone is good in something if they put their heart and mind into it.
True.
Yeah.
Like, I get that kuna vitu zingine unaweza jaribu na ifike point to you have to call a meeting with yourself and tell yourself, yo, search for something else. Roho safi. But most times, whatever acha nijiongele, most times, whatever I put my mind and heart into, I will definitely reap benefits from it. And also something else I know is, whatever it is you get into, even if, for example, there's so many people who've done courses that they're not working in at the moment. A good example is, you said Mantok earlier, the Oscar did law. Right now he's doing a podcast. But he's still doing law. But what's his main source of income?
Law. For real? Why is he in the UK? He went
Okay.
to the UK to pursue his masters.
Okay, then I have another one, Georgie.
Okay, yeah, Georgie, yeah.
Georgie right now is a journalist, and he does
A moderator.
Yeah. What did he study?
What this math thing in JKUAT.
See,
he was in JKUAT, guys. He was which school was Georgie in? JKUAT. How many times have we said JKUAT in this show? JKUAT.
He did a math thing, and right now he's doing a language thing. Yeah, but I feel like if you approach Georgie and ask him if there's anything good that came out of the math thing, he'll definitely have something. I don't think he's completely blank. He just chose something that made him happier than math. But he also had math. You get, like, I feel like you can put yourself in whatever it is, and hautatoka bure.
Yeah.
That's my point. Hutatoka bure. Don't discourage yourself. It's like this time. Okay, Lorette and I went to the same high school, and there was this thing called sharing. So someone came and told us, if you have a pot with holes and you're trying to carry water, so there's this girl with 2 pots, and she carried water, and one pot made it back home, and the other pot would always pour water on the way. And the lesson from that was, this one that had holes and poured water on the way, that whole path was lined with flowers and greens and vegetations, and this other one that made it home was useful in the sense that they were using it for domestic use in the house. And this girl always said, I knew one of my pots could not bear water all the way to my house, but I just wanted to grow the plants in the pathway. And for this other one, I needed it for my house. And that's exactly what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that you can put yourself in whatever space you want to put yourself in, but at the end of it all, never dare to think that umetoka bure.
Or that it won't amount to anything.
Exactly.
Because even Georgie says right now that he's a moderator, he uses the knowledge he got from his course, because now he's able to talk with like he has financial knowledge because he did a math thing, so he can moderate a financial event.
Exactly.
If I must say. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Definitely. Let's talk about Fancied Story. I brought you guys here because I know you from Fancied Story. Kama nakujua vingine hata usiambie watu. Yeah, this is nepotism happening on this show. Nilienda kwa hiyo group nikasema, we can't have the show without having Fancied friends over. And because mine will be biased, I'll just leave you guys to say the best thing about being in Fancied Story Network, or what you have been able to get that you think the audience can benefit from being in Fancied Story. Again, my answer will be very biased. So you're the only one who's gonna answer this one.
I think I've answered all the questions first.
Oh, okay. You want me to go first? What I got from Fancied Story Network is the warmth, the vibe. Yo, it's top tier.
By the first time we met, you were coming for the men's mental health.
Yeah, true.
And actually, it was through a friend. Like I talked to Daniel first, and then he invited you, and then you actually showed up with your friend Rachel.
Yeah, true.
That was so nice.
Yeah.
So from the picnic was vibes, guys. Harriet, how was the picnic for you?
It was amazing.
It was also your first picnic.
Yes, it was.
Your picnic iliwez. I don't know if the second one tutaweza kufika, the third one tutaweza kufika Bay, but I think we're always growing. So yeah.
So as I was saying before you interrupted me.
Conversation, guys. Conversation, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So vibes, and I think niliweza ku get a thing or two because I made new friends, and I also got to experience the environment of being with, because I remember there was a session where I was engaged with a therapist. I was able to
workshops.
The workshop. So I was able to get that experience, and also I was able to get perspective from other people of how they think about some issues concerning mental health, and regarding mental health, I guess, and how they think around them. So I was able to pick a thing or two and add from what I had come with. So yeah.
Okay, I love that. I think usikose ya tatu. That picnic in September.
Oh, yeah.
Shameless plug, yeah.
I'm a September baby, so
yeah. Because we're gonna give you cake. You guys. Ndio nakumbuka Aki July baby. We need to have like our own birthday at July babies. Because like we're so many and so special. Don't you guys agree? Thank you.
My take on Fancied Story. Well, I think I've said this before. I think I've put it in a highlights in Gram. Fancied Story is simple. The first thing is you come as you are.
Definitely.
That's the first thing. And I don't know how many people listen to Brené Brown, and she says that any place where you feel like you belong, or any place where you feel you're accepted, is the one place where you don't have to be anything else but yourself.
Yeah.
And that's one way to define Fancied Story. The second thing is, wait, you asked us for one thing.
Just say like a million things. Like sinajua na walipa after. Now peleka lunch, guys.
Wow.
Do not quote me after this, but
The second thing is your mental health matters. that means that you'll be exposed to therapists, you'll be exposed to courses. We did a course
Quality
with
rights course.
World Health Organization. Mnasikia UN. I mean, anyway.
I know.
Anyway, that's the point. The point of Fancy Story is to bring you as you are and to give you a space to grow into better. And not only to do that, but also to have friends along the way. So you make friends, you make connections, you make networks, whatever it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Uko na point 3 wewe. Napunguza.
Point 3 niko hapo.
Napunguza invoice yako wewe. But yeah,
Wow.
definitely. I thought it important to have Fancy Trends here because we are having a new campaign in September, and that's like going to be a very massive campaign because our target is 1,000 people reach. And yeah, so we need like all hands on deck. Were you there for the first Of Importance campaign? Of Importance ni wewe? Were you there? Do you know about Of Importance
I know
ni wewe?
Of Importance ni wewe, but I'm
Okay.
trying to think if
You were there.
Yeah.
Okay, so Of Importance is a campaign we do on suicide awareness. So it's basically us telling people.
yeah, I was there.
Yeah, it's basically us telling people you matter, but we do it in a way that's catchy to the youth, because then we want people to know, like, before you get to the decision where you think you should, it's okay to take your life. Let the message you matter be there. You should realize that the one thing that's constant in your life is gonna be you, and you are important. And I feel like the world is a better place because of you and because of you. So it'd be nice if everyone knew the world is a better place because of me. As Laurette, there's a light I have. As Caleb, there's a light you have. As Harry, there's a light you have. And we all contribute to something in the world. So we are having a massive campaign starting September. And this is my call for action for everyone to get involved with the campaign. When we say our target is 1,000 people, it's that by the time September in Aisha, we should have 1,000 different faces holding the campaign Of Importance ni wewe. I know Fancy Trends are like our number one ambassadors, but sasa nataka kuleta Team Bonga na Lau to be the official ambassadors for Of Importance ni wewe. When you're holding that banner, that placard imeandika Of Importance ni wewe, it's you telling, maybe, because I assume if my friend saw me pushing for something like this, they already know I'm kind of a safe space for them because I acknowledge that they are important. It's you supporting everyone who has constant suicidal thoughts and they never know it's okay, or there are people who talk about it. It's also for the families who've lost people to suicide, because the damage that leaves is also something we need to talk about. Yeah, so this is our call to action for everyone to get into the Of Importance ni wewe campaign. I think we can have closing remarks and then tukafunge as we vibe to Soul Generation. Yeah.
Okay. Like a last take.
Yeah.
To anyone out there listening to this, what I want to say is you're enough. If you're going through something, just know you don't have to go through it alone. Look for someone to talk to. That's all I can say. Find that safe space. You can also join FSN. Fancy Story.
Join FSN,
yeah,
guys.
Yeah. You can hit up Lau. She will get you in. And yeah. I think that's it. And peace, man.
Okay.
Peace, yeah.
Okay, before tuende kwa hari tumalize tu yote at once. Plug your podcast, plug yourself. Tunakupata. Mutavo akufute kazi wewe.
Come on.
Yeah?
Actually, okay. I was not even thinking. Okay. Follow us on Spotify, Google Podcast. You can get us in Kittle app. We have a Instagram page, Get Naked with Dan and Carl. Yeah, that's it. Pia tuko available on Amazon. Let me not forget. I tend to forget Amazon.
Oh,
Amazon
you're on
Music.
Amazon?
Amazon Music.
Hey.
So yeah.
That's like big.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
but definitely let's stream to Get Naked with Dan and Carl.
Yeah.
Coming to Hari. Now that she has proclaimed to the world she's an artist. Yeah. She's about to make her music public. Yeah. Yes, Hari.
Okay. Well, what's my parting shot? Inaitangwa parting shot. Anyway, the first thing is with regards to mental health, the best thing I can tell anyone with anxiety or suicidal thoughts or anything, honestly, anything there is umetosha. Yeah, that's a new hashtag that
Can we sing that? Can we sing that?
Not yet.
No. Can we sing that like a tune for that? Umetosha. Nitakusaidia na sina sauti.
Umetosha mama.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, now let's do it. I'm gonna help you for real.
No. The second thing I will tell.
I'm so ready. Acha simai nani ana rekodi kitu aniaibishe.
Acha tukitoka.
Oh, okay. She said after she's done we're singing it, okay?
The second thing is to anyone with anyone at school or at work that is doing something analytical, please save the world on our behalf. Because clearly you're the minds.
Nyi wengine ni wasanii guy.
I'm doing both, so
okay, yeah.
I'm also talking to myself. And so kwa wasanii, as Laurette has called the rest of us, you never know what your message will tell, how your message will impact someone. If it's a song, if it's a drawing, a painting, which is something I love to do, if it's pottery, because these are the main things that people go to when they are stressed. And so please keep doing what you're doing, and please reach out to more and more people, and also accept people to reach out to you. Finally, nimesikia ni muhimu kusema our handles or something.
Yeah.
So my name is Shiko Karomi, and it will be the name that I use as I go public.
Damn.
Yeah.
Umesikia, the world, what's that song? The world better prepare for when I'm a millionaire. The world better prepare for Harry's music. Me na washo. Maybe nimesikia, maybe nimesikia,
I sent her a demo.
Yeah, but it's really gonna be good music. Tufanye umetosha, and then we can tunaweza sikiza Benzul. Caleb. Okay.
Umetosha mama. Guys,
I'm like the only one who can sing her.
Achana na hawa watu. We should close up. Ebu put the real singers.
Okay. Before tukafunge, my guys, same place, same time tomorrow. Yeah, so it was a good one.
Bye.
Nakuona kwenye lockdown, yeah. Ningependa kuwa around you baby, tungekuwa tukiwasha ningekuwa nikimashup, kwenye picha weka hashtag, there's nothing better kama good love and laughter, yeah. Sema kile unatafta, and I will give you more and more, yeah. Kasi bahati basi niambie ni wapi utapatana na manzi, hayuko kila pahali, yeah. Hana chali, hapendangi makali, hapendangi maganja, takupenda kila hali, yeah. Haka kama lisika loko nikashesha mani, hako kafiga nikakale nika namba 8, takuwa no mami na wewe tukija.
This is Date.